everybody. This is Ginger, and this is Ginger's Chat Show. And we got a couple things to discuss today. It's Monday. For those that are doing the rat race, starts this week. In other words, go to work. And there are some that work from home. And those that work from home, enjoy yourself. Uh, Take your time and everything. Hi, Nancy. Um, Anyway, um, it just happened a few hours ago or a couple hours ago, whatever. I picked up a thing from, um, it was in the, on Facebook, and somebody said that they're playing a numbers game, or Trump was trying to play a numbers game on China, and China is reciprocating by keep raising the tariffs. And Trump raises tariffs. Well, China raises tariffs. And now he's going to a panic mode. I think it's guilt. He wants President Xi to call him back. Well, guess what? China didn't call him back. They ignored the request. They're ignoring Trump. They're doing everything by actions, not, any verbal communication or whatsoever. It's by their actions, which says a lot of things, The old adage of pictures are worth 1,000. Sorry, pictures worth 1,000 words, right? So now Trump has really rolled back the tariffs. And I find this so funny because once he's confronted, he becomes chicken. He turns chicken. And bullies don't like being bullied. Guess what? Tables are turned. Okay? We always had good relations with China as far as trade goes. Okay? And those of remember growing up, 1972 when President Nixon opened up the trade route for China to China. At that time, when he went to visit China, he was the first president of the United States to go visit China and start doing trade. Well, China realized that, we can't really rely on our own resources, and we need items and everything, which we cannot produce ourselves. Of course, that time China was pretty much on hardcore communism, okay? Well, they're kind of backpedaling now, China is. They still have the Communist Party, but they're not as intense as they were. Because the China thing opened up, or the trade thing opened up, and it made them realize, that's what we need to do. So, I love it when they're ignoring Trump and then their actions say volumes. It really does. So, now I wish all the other leaders on this planet would do the same thing that China's doing. Pressure him by doing actions. Okay? Don't communicate with him, but do it by actions. Bullies hated being ignored. They hate it. Because they feel they're hitting a brick wall, which they deserved. Good majority of the bullies do. And I think now the DOJ is being a bunch of bullies. They need to let ICE go. They need to shut down ICE. Stop this immigration crap. that they're doing and bringing the people back from El Salvador that they illegally kidnapped and sent to El Salvador for no reason whatsoever. I think it's just for bullying, is what they're doing. And DOJ needs to stop that. So, Pam Bondi, knock it off. Bring them back. Follow court order. If you don't, you're in violation of court order. When a court puts out an order, you better follow it or you can be found in contempt. That's what's going to happen. Now, there are some saying that anybody that speaks up against Trump or anything else, he might send them to El Salvador. You know what? He's going to find a fight on his hands when that happens. He better not. So, another thing too, before I go on to this, there was this guy that came on, I think he was talking to Brian Tyler Cohen, and stated that, I didn't get the guy's name, I should have. He said that Felon 47 Trump, in 50 days, by May, he needs to fire Elon Musk. Because if he doesn't, he's breaking federal law. Well, Elon Musk should have not been there in the first place, okay? The guy's just like Trump. Or similar Trump, similar personality, think he's a big wig and everything else. Well, he's not really. He's not really very smart. He doesn't really understand how things work here in the U.S. He's from South Africa, but he doesn't understand our laws. Now, I understand that. I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is said some time ago. I wonder if Elon Musk is not in trouble back in South Africa, too. Because their laws are a lot stricter there than it is here. He's more of a pro-Afroid thing. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing it. But, you gotta treat people equally. You don't sit there and discriminate. That's what Elon doesn't seem to understand or get. How would he like it if he was being discriminated against? Anyway, as far as the other leaders in the country, they should do the same thing China's doing. Same actions. I'll bet you things change real fast. I bet you they will. We need to get this resolved. We really do. And people say, oh, well, you're preaching to the choir and everything else. I go, bull crap. No, it needs to be said. You need to stand up for your freedoms. You need to take responsibility. You're the boss. You tell Congress what to do. You tell the president what to do. Not the other way around. When people say tell you preaching in the choir, they're telling me that they condone it. Okay? That's telling me you're condoning it when you say things like that. They say, oh, that's not going to happen. This is not going to happen. You're condoning it. So stop condoning it and start standing up for yourself and start standing up to bullies like Felon 47. That's all he is. He's a bully. He's a pathetic little bully. And when you stand up to him, he backs down. Okay? And so what? The guy's almost 80 years old. Oh, another thing, too, that Trump wanted to do. He wanted to have a parade on his birthday. Well, you know what the day of June 14th is? It's the 250th anniversary, or 250th birthday of the um, U.S. Army. Okay, um, that's why it's called Flag Day. And he wants to pray for, tanks and planes and people and things like this. It's not going to happen. He tried this last time in his last stint as president. It didn't work. Because they said no, because the road is not able to handle tanks. Ever. Okay. Um, Tanks weigh a lot. They weigh a lot. They weigh close to a ton. And so we have tanks and Bradley fighting vehicles running around here, but they run around out Fort Lewis out here. But they run on dirt. They run on all terrain. They're not designed for the roads. And our roads can only handle so much right now, the asphalt roads, because of winter. Okay, sometimes you get hard freezes, and then in the summer you get really hot summers, and the asphalt bakes and everything. Pretty soon they start breaking down, and you start getting potholes and things like that. Well, tanks don't really help any. It'll just make a big pothole. Okay? So Trump should be told no. It's not going to happen. If he wants a parade, he could go over to Korea or go over to Russia, because I know they built their roads to handle heavy machinery like that. But not over here. Now, another thing that we need to do is push on Congress. Push on them. Tell them, do the impeachment now. Don't sit there and drag your feet. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, Nancy. I figure they run anywhere from 40 to 60 tons. Yeah. So they're not really designed for roads, asphalt roads, like we have here. Well, like anywhere. But they can go across cross-country terrain, Now, they did years ago when they were doing exercises out here. They did have it was kind of they were kind of surprised. They did have a tank get stuck. It fell on yeah, right. And they fell in, anyway, the tank fell in a bog. It slipped. It went down and went up and he couldn't get up. He was stuck in a bog. He couldn't get out. And so they had to get another tank to tow it out, pull it out. It's the only way to do it. But what they did was they got 2 tanks to do it and a bulldozer to pull it out. But, things like that happens during exercises. Something goes wrong. So anyway, as far as Congress goes, they need to grow a spine. They need to freeze out the MAGAs, especially at the House. They need to freeze out the MAGAs, and they need to yell at Mike Johnson and said, stop doing all these dumb, stupid things. The House and the Senate is supposed to be separate from the executive branch. You're supposed to work for the people. You don't work for Felon 47. And Mike Johnson needs to be told that. Need to told to stop it and shut up. Frankly, I wish Hakeem Jeffries was the House Speaker. He wouldn't allow any of this stuff going on. He put Marguerite Taylor Greene in such restrictions it wouldn't be even funny. But I don't know how many MAGA are there in the House now. Uh, Prominent ones, anyway. I noticed they've been very quiet, but I know that Green got kicked off one committee, another committee, and so, which is good. I'm glad they did. Um, they need to be, again, put in their place and told, grow a spine, do the impeachment, remove Trump, and then appoint, unless you want to do a snap election, appoint a new president. In other words, wipe the cabinet clean and get a whole new set of people in there that will do the job properly. That's what they need to do. Because we can't have anybody like Felon 47 endangering the country. And that's what he's doing. He's not listening to anybody or anything. And if he didn't like hearing things like this, that's just too bad. He works for the people in the United States, and we should fire him. Okay? I fire him. And if he told me if you should be fired, I go, well, I'm retired. I'm not working anymore. Okay? He doesn't get it. He breaks the rules, and he just doesn't get it. Sorry. The pollen count over here is very, very high. And my nose is dripping really badly. So, I'm keeping an eye out. Loki's supposed to get his meal today. Hey, could I ask you a question, Nancy? Has your email or your notifications, have you been gaining? First of all, is your email slow coming in? 2, is your notification, have they ever been coming in? I noticed on YouTube my notifications sometimes don't happen. Sometimes they do, but it depends on what areas you're subscribed to. But I have noticed that Trump has really been super quiet. So he's not out there as much. Now, over the weekend, they did have rallies, the fight oligarchy rallies by Bernie Sanders and AOC. And it went very well, like well over 130,000 people or more combined. I didn't think, I don't remember the other amounts in the other cities, but protests keep going, and they're growing. They're doing it every weekend. Of course, a lot of people have to work during the week. So many of them are doing it the weekend and helping in other ways too. So, otherwise, let me check my calendar real quick here. Hold on a second. Okay, I will see you on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. I might not do my chat on Good Friday because it's the starting of uh, Easter. Uh, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So I'm not going to do my chat show on Friday because it's start of Easter weekend. So I will put out another announcement to remind you, and that way everybody could take a break and focus on family and everything, and go to services if you need to and everything. So uh, Thursday I'm gonna be busy. Um, Wednesday I have a virtual doctor's appointment. Thursday, um, Loki goes in for his X-ray on his head, on his nose. He's been occasionally sneezing hard. Um, and some junk does come out, but he's much better than he was. He's not breathing hard and gasping and everything. He's much, much better. And of course, he's bossing me around. You have a cat that tells you what to do, not the other way around. So, anyway, I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good evening, and I will post this video on my YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe there. It's free. And I will see you on the next one. And I'll just keep tabs on what's happening. Be sure to watch Midas Touch when you get caught up any of the news and everything that's going on. So, anyway, I will see you later. Okay, take care. Love you all. Bye bye. Well, be sure to insist, persist, and push back. Okay, talk to you later. Bye bye.